Hi Ben, and welcome to the Promise Keepers Canada video blog. We're glad you're taking a few minutes to join us today, and I'm joined today by David Milmine. David is our Community Relations Supervisor with Promise Keepers, and David's role with the ministry primarily is meeting with pastors and church leaders to share with them a little bit about the ministry of Promise Keepers. And we know a number of you have some legacy events still coming to a city near you in the next few months. And David's had the opportunity to visit with some churches and pastors who have already had a legacy event in their community.
Exactly.
And we wanted to take a moment or two and just find out what men are saying about these events that have already happened and that are still going to happen later this spring. So maybe, David, you could share with us a little bit about what's the sense of what men were saying? What are they saying as they come back from legacy? What are you hearing as you visit with churches and pastors after these events?
I'm hearing that guys are changed when they go back. They're coming back supercharged. They're ready to get back into ministry. They're ready to start making a difference in their communities, in their homes, in their families, because they maybe realize they've maybe been a little complacent for too long, and now's the time that they need to step up.
Yeah, we've really heard from a number of churches just how much the theme of legacy seems to have really resonated with the men. In some cases, even more than previous years. As much as they've loved events in previous years, we've heard a number of churches say just how much legacy has really impacted the men in their congregation. Right? Maybe could you share with us one or two stories of specific things that have happened in a man's life and who attended a legacy event and how God's been working in his life?
Sure. Recently I met with a pastor in Toronto who brought a group of pastors with him to our legacy event in Mississauga for the very first time. Pastors who had never ever been to one of our events before. And some of them actually weren't even sure if we were even still around. But these guys came, these pastors came, and they were just bursting, trying to tell me how great it was for them and how they had been impacted themselves by the messages from the men that they were able to hear. But the pastor who had brought us together was Pastor Albert O'Connor, and he immediately, as these men finished their stories, he said, "But David, let me tell you how it affected the guys in my church." He says, "Because I brought a group of guys with me, and these men have taken ownership of their men's ministry. They've started to make things happen. They're reaching out to the men who hadn't been to the event or hadn't been coming to their men's Bible studies or to their men's groups to get them to come back, to invite them back. They're inviting them to come back. Come back to Jesus, come back to church, come back and let us together bring our families back together, bring our community back together."
Yeah, that's great.
It's really neat.
Yeah, that's great. Now, I know that part of what you do beyond the conference work is also just throughout the year you're visiting with pastors and church leaders, and I'm sure that there's some pastors and church leaders who are watching the video even right now, and maybe you could just share with those who might be watching the video what's our message, what's our heart that we want to communicate to pastors, to church leaders as you meet with them.
Sure. What we really want to know, fellas, is how can we serve you? How can we serve you and your men? Maybe we haven't had the opportunity to connect with you right away or recently. We need to hear from you. And that way we know what's happening in your community. We know what kind of resources are working for you. Maybe you're using a resource that we currently don't have on our website, or it's a resource that we don't even know about. We need to hear from you. And that way we can get an idea of what the temperature of your men is and what's happening in your community, what's happening with your men. And maybe we haven't been to your community yet for a legacy or for an Ignite. We've got Ignites coming up as well. We have men working in your communities, and we want to make connection with you so we can hear from you how we can help you better serve your men, how we can partner with you better to serve your men. So you can get in contact with me at info@promisekeepers.ca, and if you send that message through and ask for me, I will make sure that I either connect with you or I'll connect you with the men in your community so they can reach out and they can connect with you together. I have a saying that there's power in partners. Well, if we can make more partners and more friends out there, we're going to have more power.
Absolutely.
More power we have, the more opportunities we have to reach more men for Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. And that's, at the end of the day, what it's all about.
Exactly.
Helping men to become and grow and live as disciples of Jesus Christ. And if you have an event coming up in your community, or if you don't even know for sure if there's an event coming up in your community, just visit the website, look around on the events section at upcoming events and dates, especially for the legacy events. I'm going to be at many of the legacy events this spring, and I would love to see you there and have a chance to meet you, so feel free to pull me aside in a hallway and just say hi if we see each other at one of the legacy events. But register for these events that are coming up. Get involved. God's doing great things all across this nation, and we want to invite every single man in this country to be a part of what God's doing.